Good morning. My name is Johnny Giles. I'm the law enforcement officer here at the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming archery hunt. So the 2022 season is going to be Saturday, October the 8th through Sunday, October the 16th. The hunt area opens up at 5 a.m. daily and will close at 9 p.m. every night. So the archery hunt area is a total of 36,225 acres. So no portion of the hunt area can be reserved at any time. The entire hunt area is always open to first come, first serve. Now during the hunt, only permitted hunters are allowed into the hunt area. Now during scouting, the permitted hunters may scout and place blinds or stands in the hunt area October 1st, October 2nd, and then the Friday before the hunt, October the 7th, from 7:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. During scouting, you will be allowed to bring one additional person with you to go ahead and scout and set up blinds as well. There is bonus scouting available if you have your IBEP card, which is the International Bowhunter Education Program. And that is going to be September the 24th and the 25th from 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. Now, a lot of people have asked if they have to attend the Aransas Bowhunter Education Program. You do not have to attend the Aransas Bowhunter Education Program, just as long as you do have a valid International Bowhunter Education training class that you've been to, you will be allowed to scout. Just safety, real quick, the refuge is wild. There are venomous snakes. We do have alligators and multitude of biting insects, mosquitoes, chiggers, etc. So please use caution. We do have 4 different types of venomous snakes. We have the copperheads, we have coral snakes, we have rattlesnakes, and we also have the cottonmouths as well. So please use caution if you are out here. The youth hunters and observers, so in order to foster the sport of hunting, youth observers who are 16 and under may apply for free. However, youth hunters must apply for and possess an Aransas permit, the Texas hunting license, and a hunter education certificate or their one-time hunter ed deferral, and must abide by all refuge regulations. So the youth are the responsibility of the adult hunter or observer with them and must remain within normal voice control of an adult at all times. People have asked if they can bring multiple youth with them. Unfortunately, we do. Each hunter may only bring out one youth. So the hunting regulations are designed to provide safe recreational opportunities throughout wise use of renewable wildlife resources. Hunting is permitted in accordance with federal regulations governing public lands and set forth in Title 50 of the Code of Federal Regulations. So hunting will be in accordance with applicable state of Texas regulations subject to the conditions stated below. So basically all TPWD hunt regulations as well as the 50 CFR are enforced on the refuge. So for hunter access, we've already talked about this a little bit, but the hunt area gate will open up daily at 5 a.m. and will close nightly at 9 p.m. That gate's located directly off of Highway 2040 right as you come into the refuge. So that is set up on a timer. We do not open that and close that. It's automatic. So only permitted hunters are allowed access into the hunt area. We've already discussed that a little bit, and hunters are accountable for their own entry and exit from the hunt area. All right, as far as permits, the hunter must have the valid Aransas archery season permit to hunt on the refuge. That's the one that TPWD is going to send you guys by email after you've already paid for your permits out there. So in addition to that, hunters must also obtain these daily self-check-in, self-checkout permits. So I'll go over this real quick just because we've had a lot of questions and a lot of issues in the past. So this is what the permit looks like. It's going to have a section up on the top that's going to be your check-in permit. So with that, you're going to have the date you're hunting. You're going to put your permit number, your name, and then a mobile phone number. That's going to be perforated, so you just tear that off and put that top section into the check-in box. Everything else sits up on your dash. You guys can come and go as many times as you need to during the day. You do not need to fill out a second tag. So it's one tag per hunter per day. So if you're traveling in a group of 3, every hunter needs to put in 1 tag per day, so 3 people. Now, we ask for the mobile phone number, and that is in case at the end of the day when we're matching up the tags, in case we do not have a check-out tag. That way we're going to call that permitted phone number just to try to make sure that you guys are clear of the hunt area. So everything else sits up on your dash. Whenever you're checking out and leaving for the last time, you're going to fill out the rest of this. Again, putting your name and the permit number, and then any comments that you might have. If you saw a deer or anything else, there's a section for all that on the flip side on what you ended up seeing, game species, anything else that you observed, feral hogs, whatever. And then you put the entire other section of the permit into the check-out section. At the end of the day, what we're going to do is match up your check-in, top piece, with the check-out, the bottom piece, and then we'll make sure that you're clear of the hunt area. If we have a check-in with no check-out, again, that's when we're going to call that cell phone number. Again, that's just for everybody's safety, just making sure that you guys are clear of the hunt area. All right, so closed areas are delineated with area closed signs. There are these 11 by 14 signs that say area beyond this sign closed, all public entry prohibited. So any portion of the hunt area may be closed due to unusual conditions without prior notification. Again, it's the hunter's responsibility to know where you're hunting. Hunting is not allowed within 100 yards of any roadway, within oil and gas operations, within their pads, and hunters may not shoot across the roads. So we do have an attached map that I think everybody was able to get. All this should be downloadable through your TPWD email, and this is of the Aransas hunt area. So it shows the entire 36,225 acres. If you're familiar with the refuge, this is also where you came in through the main gate, and then all this is the open to the general public where we have our tour loop. And if you guys wanted, you guys can drive down and check out the tour loop, which is going to be pretty similar to everything that we have in the hunt area, just to get you guys a heads up on what conditions might look like. All right, for the weapons. So during scouting, no weapons are allowed, period, so you can't bring out your bow. Now during the hunt, weapons must be cased during transport to and from the hunt area. Hunters may only use bows and arrows or crossbows in accordance with Texas state law. We prohibit hunters using handguns during archery and rifle hunting, and target shooting or the discharge of weapons except to hunt is prohibited. So vehicles, only street legal cars and trucks are allowed into the hunt area. Vehicles must remain on the designated roads at all times. Parking is allowed along the roadside only in a manner as which not to interfere with the normal traffic flow. So if it rains, it gets a little bit slick out there, so we're making sure that everyone has at least 2 wheels on the road surface at all time. The speed limit is 35 miles an hour unless otherwise posted. The roads out there get pretty bumpy, so 35 might be a little excessive at some points as well. So all Texas driving laws apply to the refuge roads, and blocking any road or gate is strictly prohibited. So we have some additional access gates where we can get into if we need to bring an ambulance or anything in. All those roads need to be left open, and again, you cannot block off any road for any purpose. Everything is first come, first served, but everybody still has the same access. All right. Flagging, a lot of people ask questions about this as well. So what we do is during the archery hunt, we allow only the biodegradable white flagging tape is authorized to mark trails and hunt stands. Flagging could possibly be checked upon entrance to the hunt area. The use of anything else, any non-biodegradable flagging, a lot of people have put up paper towels, toilet paper, cloth, all sorts of stuff. All of that is considered litter and could be a citation. So the use of any other non-biodegradable flagging or failure to remove the flagging at the end is considered littering and may be subject to a fine. So at the end of the hunt, we have up to 300 hunters coming out, and if every hunter uses flagging and do not pick it up, then it really looks bad on the refuge, and it's all just trashy. All right, now we're going to talk about the legal species and the bag limits. So only hunting of white-tailed deer and feral hog is allowed during the Aransas archery hunt. As part of the hunter's annual statewide bag limit, hunters may take 3 white-tailed deer. So of which no more than 2 may be bucks. So you can have 2 bucks and a doe, you can have 3 doe, you can have 1 buck and 2 doe, any combination of 3 deer, as long as no more than 2 are bucks. People ask about the antler restrictions at the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge and at the Aransas County. We are not in antler restrictions. So it doesn't matter 13 inches inside the ears, points, nothing like that. There are no antler restrictions here on the refuge. So continuing on, no bonus tags are allowed. So we do not use MLD tags, the managed land deer permits. Those are, you're using all your own tags out here, so there are no bonus tags allowed. Hunters must legally tag harvested deer immediately upon kill. So you can't, if the mosquitoes are bad, I mean, you gotta tag it and then move. A lot of people have thrown the deer in just to move down the road further and have been caught with a untagged deer. All right, so also you must log the harvest at the refuge check station. So we're going to have a harvest log that we're probably going to put up over at the cooler. It's going to be on the side. On that is going to have the date, your name. It's going to have a section for what you ended up taking. Was it a deer or a hog, number of points on bucks, and then approximate weight, and a section for comments. So every deer that's taken or hog that's taken off the refuge, you will need to fill that out in order to be compliant with our rules. So there's no limit on the feral hog as well. So every year we have done a hog contest through our friends of Aransas and Matagorda Island, our family group. What we do on that is every person that fills out the log on a harvested hog gets their name put in for a $100 gift card to Academy Sports and Outdoors. Again, if it's not on that harvest log, it does not get counted towards the end. So again, no limit on feral hogs, so take as many of those as you so desire. So hunting stands, portable stands and blinds are allowed on the refuge during the archery hunt. There's a limit of 2 portable stands per permitted hunter, so you can have a morning stand and an evening stand, and still everybody still has access to the entire hunt area. So hunters may set up equipment during scouting. That's kind of the whole point of scouting. So all that has to be removed, however, by the end of the hunt. So since you are in a closed area, once the hunt is over, it's not opened up until the next hunt. So there's no way to gain access back into there to get your equipment if it's not removed. Stands or blinds must be a minimum of 100 yards away from any designated roadway on the refuge hunt map. So again, you guys have access to these maps. They should be in the email that TPWD sends out. So as far as all the refuge roads go, you might be 100 yards off of one road, but you might have another road that cuts in behind you that you need to be 100 yards off of as well. All right, so hunters may not drive any nails, screws, wires, bolts, or any other object into the trees or other objects. You can't cut any part of the tree. You cannot remove branches to improve a shooting lane or anything. And you may not hunt from existing structures. So you're in 36,225 acres. We have old windmills out there, telephone poles, other buildings that are inside the hunt area. All those are off limit. Most of our hunters use a 6 to 8 foot tripod, which gets you above the scrub oak that's going to be out there, and hopefully above the mosquitoes as well. So that's what the majority of people do use out here. As far as ground blinds, there is space available. So we have fire breaks and oil pipelines, but those are limited in number. And then we also do allow spot and stalk. So that is allowed as well, but if you are going to spot and stalk, please be cognizant of other hunters that are hunting in that area and might be sitting up in stands and blinds as well. So please don't walk right out in front of somebody. All right, for field dressing, hunters may field dress and quarter harvested game inside the hunt area. This is something that we implemented 2 years ago, and we are going to continue with that. So there is a meat cooler for dressed game that will be available at the Refuge Hunt Check Station. That is up and running, and we're good to go with that. On the cooler, space is limited though, so please be respectful of other hunters. Outside of the cooler, we're going to have a little series of tags where you can write your name on that and tie that onto your harvest as well. So hunters are responsible for off-site carcass disposal and cleanup of the processing area. So oil and gas facilities, for your safety, all oil and gas facilities, their pads, the pumps, the buildings, etc., those are all off limits. So you have to stay 100 yards away from any designated oil and gas facility. We do have oil and gas operations that will be active during the archery hunt. So there are going to be crew camps at Dry Hole Road and then Bergantine Lake Road near Bergantine Lake Road number 1. So new access road down by Point Pasture is just before Dry Hole Road. That is going to be off limits, period. So the road is it's fairly small, so there's not enough places to turn around or to pull off the side of the road if an 18-wheeler or oil and gas operations are going on. So we're asking everybody to stay off of that new road. All right, bait. The use or possession of bait, salt, or any ingestible attractant is strictly prohibited on the refuge. There's no baiting, period. So the use of scents, however, is permitted. Alcohol is not allowed. Hunters are not allowed to use or possess alcohol on the refuge or be under the influence of alcohol during the hunt. So if you've had a couple to drink, you're not allowed to come out and hunt. Fishing access is not allowed inside the hunt area. So fishing access to San Antonio Bay is permitted at multiple access points on the refuge tour loop only from April 15th until October 14th. So year-round pier and wade fishing access are open at the fishing pier area only. Check with the visitor center for more information on any of that. So while on the refuge, hunters are subject to inspection by state and federal officers at any time. All right, so just to summarize the prohibited activities. So again, possession or use of alcoholic beverages is not allowed. Drone use is not allowed. That's one we did not cover, but you are not allowed to bring drones out here. It's considered harassment of wildlife. So there is no UTV or ATV use. Camping and fires is not allowed. Searching for or removal of any natural items such as antlers, skulls, plants, historical and archaeological artifacts are not allowed. Again, there's no fishing inside the hunt area. You are not allowed to bring a dog inside the hunt area to help scout or anything else. We've had people ask about that, but they are not allowed. So permanent tree stands, nails, screw-in steps, or other items that penetrate the outer bark of a tree is not allowed. So hunting within 100 yards of any road or oil and gas facility or their infrastructure is not allowed as well. And use or possession of bait, salt or any other ingestible attractant is not allowed. Scents are allowed. So, all right. So the updates for this year. So again, the cooler is finally up and running. That will be available for everybody during the hunt. So we also have access to the new hunt check station that is finally ours and up and operational at this point. Again, the biggest thing is probably the oil and gas operations that will be active during the archery hunt. They do have crew camps, and they will be out there at Dry Hole Road and Bergantine Lake Road near Bergantine Lake Road 1. So also they have the oil and gas pads that they're putting in that are operational, and they're actively working on by Middle Road, just north of North Red Rock. That's going to be probably a choke point out there, so they have lots of operations going on, lots of vehicles that are parked off the road out there. So if you are going to be hunting down in that area, please slow down and maybe arrive a little bit sooner than. There is a new road that they just finished putting in off of Point and Pasture Road, just up from Dry Hole Road. Again, that road is going to be completely off limits, so you can't drive down that road. You can't. There's really no place to pull off the side of the road there, so we're just closing it completely.